Are you spending 60% of your week on the high value needle moving task? Because if you're not, and you don't think it's possible, then I highly recommend watching this week's My TV. Hello, it's Emma Mills here and welcome to episode 227 of My TV. And if you didn't know, I'm sure you do, I went to Texas in Austin, which I'm going to talk about for the rest of the year because it was just amazing. And if you haven't read High Performance Habits, it's a really great book and I recommend it. But key fact out of that for all of my TV listeners is that in High Performance Habits, they did lots of studies around what makes high performance people. And one of the key things that came out of it, which I'm going to talk about today and what that looks like for you, is that actually the 80-20 rule doesn't apply to high performers in where you spend your time. It's the 60-40 rule, because what they found is that most entrepreneurs who are highly successful but also, key point, not burnt out, spend 60% of their time on the really high value, deep work, focused on only stuff they can do, the stuff where you're in flow, the things you were born to do. They spend 60% of their time on that. And it feels like a lot, doesn't it? But actually when you look at it, it looks like this. On a 40-hour week, which I know you're like, Emma, I would love to work a 40-hour week. I know for loads of you it's like that, but on a 40-hour week, 60% of it is 24 hours of the week. Break it down into the day and it's 4.8 hours a day. So let's say, for example, in the morning you planned out 2 hours, 20 minutes of time. Let's say you get to your desk at 8 o'clock. Till 10:20, you might stretch, you get up and stretch around that, get a water, but 8 till 10:20 is your time to focus on the deep work. Let's say that then from there till 2 o'clock, you have a time for a lunch, you have time for meetings, you have time to reply to your team, to your customers, to deal with interruptions. And then at 2 o'clock from 4 till 4:20, you go again. And this time is like everything's on do not disturb. You're in your deep work, you're doing all the good stuff that's like actually moving you forward. And at the end of the day, you're gonna like, yeah, I did loads of great stuff. Like that's what it looks like spending 60% of your week. 2 hours 20 in the morning, 2 hours 20 in the afternoon. And when you consider that most people 8 hours a day, like it's 60% of the day. It's not loads. And while it feels like spending 60% of your week is massive, when you plan it in like that and have them as non-negotiables and all the time around it, you can respond to WhatsApp, Slacks, DMs, all those questions you get from your team or all the questions you make your team run past you all the time. When you plan it like that, it's like actually, it's very, very valuable to spend 60% of my week on the really good stuff. Because here's the flip side for most entrepreneurs. You don't block out the focus time and you feel like you have to get back to everybody immediately. You feel like you have to have your team run everything past you, or you have to sign off on client emails that are being written by members of your team, and you feel like you just need to get involved every little bit. And without having the focus time, all of this feel like replying to, responding, the day just passes by, and while you have every good intention, the deep work doesn't happen. So for all of the tiny things you're controlling, at what cost? Because in my mind, in my life, I want to scale my business. I want to explore bigger opportunities. I want to start other businesses. And if I answer every small thing and let the interruption be the whole day, I lose the bigger game. So here's my challenge to you this week. I want you to plan out those 2 slots in the morning, in the afternoon. If you want to do it all in one go, fine, but I want you to plan them out next week, because if you do, you will have spent next week with 60% of your time in the really, really good stuff that's making a tangible difference to you, your team, your customers, your business, your life, and moving it forward. And just how flipping good will that have felt? I hope this week's episode of My TV gets your head out of the dirt and into the high performing clouds, and I will see you next week for episode 228. See you then. Bye bye.